Hello, I want to share with you one of my favorite exercises. This is an exercise that's really designed to improve your single stroke speed and certainly your single stroke control. This is an exercise I do a lot before really high energy, intense, fast-paced shows. It gets my hands nice and warmed up and it gets my brain ready to play. So I'll demonstrate the whole exercise for you and then we'll talk about each of the individual components. Alright, so this exercise starts out with 5 unison strokes. And I really want to emphasize and drive home that these are unisons, they're not flams. Everything's going to hit at exactly the same time. And what's happening is your brain should be telling your hands to move in exactly the same way. And you get this real A and B comparison in real time about which hand is doing what, and are they both doing the same thing. You get to analyze, is my fulcrum in the same spot? Am I using more fingers in my right hand than my left hand? And really making sure that we are doing the exact same motions. We're holding the stick in the exact same places and making sure that that communication from here to here is all operating and moving properly. So there is a little bit of an accent on that first note of the 5 unison strokes, right? We have this kind of natural tendency to emphasize this. I'm playing this at a tempo where it's mostly going to be finger control, but this exercise works at any tempo. But either way, the start of that note, it's going to have a little bit of a natural accent. I marked it in the transcription as a tenuto marking, so it's just like an accent without trying to be an accent. Now moving on to the single stroke part of the exercise, your right hand is going to stay the same. It's your left hand that's changing. So your left hand is dropping one note and it's offsetting just a hair to play directly in between the right hand part. So you go from this to... Now if you'll notice, I still keep that same initial accent in that first left hand note, just like we were doing in the unisons. We're taking this technique and we're just sliding it over to the singles. We want to have the exact same approach. So it's not this, right? It is exactly the way we were approaching the unisons is exactly the way that we want to approach the singles. So in between all this, we always go back to our unisons to check in how we're doing. This is called the check pattern in the drumline world. But yeah, so we're going to go back to the unisons and then we're going to move to the harder part of the exercise, which is the left hand lead singles. Now, what I want to stress is that we have already done the physical motion of this exercise. The physical motion is this. If you can do that, then you can play the singles. It doesn't matter which hand you play them off of. So when you get that kind of voice in your head that says, I can't do it with the left hand, it's harder, I want you to remember that it's the same motion physically as the unisons. It's actually your right hand that's changing this time, right? So your left hand is staying the same. So theoretically, this shouldn't be harder. However, for some reason, it just is if you are a right-hand dominant player. So our left hand is going to stay the same. Our right hand drops one note, and then our right hand offsets just a hair. So our left hand is now in charge. So we're going from here to... Right? So our left hand stays exactly the same as when it was playing the unisons. Our right hand is the one that's changing. So we're going to go back to our unisons again, and then we're going to move to alternating our right and left hand. So essentially, what's going to happen is we're doing these unisons, and then these are the hands that are going to kind of take emphasis. They're going to take over. They're going to take the lead of these next series of singles. So unisons, then alternating. Cool. Then we're going to do the same thing back to unisons, and we're going to start on the left hand this time. And that's the whole exercise. You can play this as many times as you want. You can loop it over and over. I like to do 4 groups of 4. You could do groups of 8. You could do groups of 7. It doesn't matter. But again, this is a really great exercise to kind of check in on this mental to physical relationship, right? We have the physicality of the motion already covered when we do the unisons. Now it's a mental exercise on if we can offset this in the proper way, if we can think about this in the right way, if we can get our brain to communicate with our hands in the right way. So try this exercise out. Let me know if the left-hand version was as difficult for you as it was for me. But I hope you try it out and I hope you enjoy.